Okay, hi there boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Got a few games for you today. I'm helping out one of the contributors to the channel, Frost136 from the Hunters Reborn clan. He's driving the French B1 Tier 4 Heavy and very much wants to get his hands onto the BDR that I'm driving here. So jumped into a few platoons with him, see if we can get him XP'd up so he can get his hands on this tank. We're here on Black Goldville, pushing to the factory area, the left flank as you come from the northern spawn. Looks like we haven't got too many bad guys over here, they're mostly over on the other flank. I tend to think from this spawn you are probably better off going in the factory direction. I think from the other spawn the other team has the advantage if you push the caves flank. You may have a different opinion on that, it's just how I've found it over the years. So Mr. A20's pushed up here, we're going to try to get rid of him in pretty short order. One of the things that my platoon mate here obviously notices straight away is the B1 is a good tank at tier 4, but it can be very badly overmatched at tier 5. The gun is fast firing, the B1 does have reasonable armour, but it sometimes really does struggle to get a penetration in. So Tilda here's pushed round on Frost. He's managing to get a few shots in, so we're going to go around here, give him a hand and try and get this guy cleared up, which we do pretty efficiently. So now setting the angle here and to take on our next target. Doing too badly so far in this game, it's pretty even, 4 tanks apiece. Not struggling to get the penetration through my armour there, but we get him cleared up pretty quickly. 3 tanks apiece now. Frost is looking reasonably healthy there. He's put himself into the cap circle, and now we're just going to have to do our best to deal with these tanks to the front. Taking a bounce there, stick a nice roll in there. We've got another BDR on the enemy team that's looking rather healthy. Take another bounce, lose that shot there, but unfortunately take a nasty one. So for a couple of the tanks on the other side there, I am now down to a 1 shot. So we do have to start trying to get these guys cleared. Managed to get a kill on him there. Take another bounce. I think I lose that shot, yeah. Now the BDR is pushing across the road. I'm going to stick another nice shot into there. Unfortunately now Frost has been taken out. So it's just me and this Wolverine and this fully armoured BDR, one from the bad guys. I'm a 1 shot for this tank now, and I just really do make a terrible mistake here. I've got height on him, and I really don't want to give him the shot, and I just push forward too early, too much there, and make that very easy for him. To be fair, I mean, that was going to be a difficult one anyway, but if I'd have just managed to keep the guy's gun pointing at me but not getting the shot on, perhaps the Wolverine there, who's looking pretty bad health, could have got some shells into the back of him. Just made a really silly mistake and pushed too far forward, and in the end made it too easy for the guy. So yeah, I had a good game for about 4.5 minutes, racking up 5 kills, and then blew it there in the last couple of seconds of the game. So a bit disappointing, that one. So me and Frost, undeterred by that one, decide we're going to try it again. Same map, same spawn, same tanks. So it looks like our tank destroyer wants to push the other flank, so potentially I'm telling Frost that we need to push over there, and then I see that we get joined over on this flank by these two guys. So we decide to go along this left part of the map. Now, one of our teammates is not particularly happy with that. Range controls being quite active in the type there. He doesn't seem to think that we've made the right decision. It does look like we've got at least one of the enemy heavies has pushed over here. Sometimes it's just rage inducing, waiting for the reticle to come down on this tank. It's a good tank, good armor, good gun, but the aiming time is a bit of a pain. Range control still pretty upset. Apparently now we're all morons. So anyway, I'm going to push aggressively down this left flank, see if I can try and get this KB1 cleared quite quickly. Take a nice bounce there, and we're just going to basically use this building on the right to give us a bit of cover from the enemy tanks on the other side of the road there, and pour as much damage in as quickly as we can into the KB1, get him cleared. Which we do pretty quickly. Now at this point I want to have a look at the situation on the other side of the map, and very quickly I get in the chat with in the comms with Frost, and really don't see the point in pushing across the road here. We have this flank cleared, we've got the base on our side of the map, and the engagement over there ended pretty quickly. So I basically say that we need to dig in on this side, try and drag these guys to us if we can, and see if we can isolate targets. Frost does the right thing. He's still struggling a little bit trying to pen. He does get a few shots in here, and he sticks himself in the circle. As you can see, some of the enemy guys are now starting to push across the road. So give myself a little bit of cover with this rock on the left. Frost still getting a few shots in and maintaining his position in the cap circle. That one goes off just. So I'm going to push up to this end of the map, back towards the spawn area. There's at least 3 tanks up there. I'm quite happy to keep them away from Frost, who's still sitting in the circle there. So we're just going to drive up here and try and keep the engagement at this end of the map. Now I know as I come around here I'm going to be facing at least 2 tanks. I'm also getting some dings from the side. So I'm going to push around a little further, try and stop taking damage from this guy at the side here. Angle up the tank. I've got pretty low hit points here, but I'm fairly confident I can get some bounces from these guys. I'm going to get some damage in there, get this guy tracked. Now ideally, I mean, you know, these 2 enemy tanks here, they should be going straight down that road and potentially trying to stop the cap. However, they're more concerned with pouring shots into me, which I'm more than happy for them to do all the time I keep this armour angled up. Bounced over 1,000 now. I'm going to quickly deal with this guy here, and as you can see, that seems to have worked out quite well for us, and Frost has been left alone at that end of the map and wins the game via the cap. So yeah, unconventional win there, but quite enjoyable. Notice our friend Mr. Range Control there did what, about 160 damage, so maybe if he'd spent more time shooting and less time calling the rest of the team morons, he might have done a bit better there. You never know. Anyway, this is a game on Himmelsdorf, Tiger 1, Tier 7 game. This is a replay from Frost 136. So I think he has a pretty quiet start to the game, but thankfully does a good job in looking after his hit point pool, which does prove to be quite vital in the later stages of the game. fishing around here. It's all fairly quiet on this flank so far. You see the AT up there, as usual with this trollish armour at the front. Frost doesn't manage to make that penetration there. He's going to stick one through this wall, see if he can get a view on the on this guy. Can't quite manage that. And he's with, I think there's a KB-1S just off to his left, and I think these guys both quickly realise that going face to face with an AT is going to be difficult for them to get the penetrations in, so they're going to relocate, reset the engagement. You can see they've got an SU also at the to their north. So they're going to push around, reset the engagement. And yeah, the AT's now not managed to keep his angle quite so well, so this guy's going to take him out pretty quickly. And then Frost is going to push around on this SU over here. So he's, as I say, fairly quiet for him so far, but playing a good game. Does take a big hit there, but thankfully the Cromwell is behind the SU, so he's going to be gone pretty quickly. Now the game is looking still pretty even, 4 tanks apiece. Frost is looking in good condition, hasn't done a lot of damage yet, but he's managed to keep his hit point pool relatively well. Now he's going up against another Tiger here, so he's got shots on, he's got good cover to his front, keeping the tank well angled. His buddy in the KB-1S there also taking a bit of cover, manages to get some shots into the side there, so he's starting to put the damages in now. Taking a nice bounce and putting another shot into the Tiger. Unfortunately, KB1 decides to push when there's no real need for him to do that. They had a good position, so he's isolated himself off a bit now, which means he's going to be very quickly taken out. Frost is doing his best to preserve his hit points here, but unfortunately he's now on his own, and he's got 3 enemy tanks to his front. So keeping the tank angled, using the available cover. Going to start putting in the damage. It's a nice bounce and a shot in there. So although he's on his own here against 3 tanks, they're all one shot. So he's going to get that guy cleared pretty quickly. He's still taking some damage from that Panther, and he makes a really good move here. He can afford to take at least one more hit. So he wants to get around here, get this guy on the left cleared as fast as possible, which he manages, take cover again, which he does. Thankfully he got a vital bounce there, which means he can afford to take one hit from this Panther. Angles up, takes a hit, but clears him up rather beautifully there to take the win. So a nice, well thought out game from Frost there. Gets the Kolobonov, over 2,500 damage, 3 kills. Enemy Panther also had a good game there. But yeah, well thought out and a well deserved Kolobonov. Well done, Frost. Anyway, boys and girls, thanks for watching, and as always, good hunting and bye for now.